MOTHRA, Queen of the Monsters, is one of Toho's most iconic kaijus of all time, right behind the G-Man himself. She has taken on many of Godzilla's greatest adversaries, including Rodan, Batra, and even King Ghidorah. However, this was all performed by different Mothras. So, that may beg the question, which Mothra is the most powerful? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. I, the worst power scaler in the entire multiverse, maybe even complex multiverse, King Churros, will go over each and every Mothra variation that I care about, at least. From weakest to most powerful. We'll go over their feats, their stats, statements, and lore to determine the most powerful Mothra of all time. Get your popcorn. Get your soda. Do not drink soda. Get water instead. Buckle up your seats. We're going in for a treat. I mean a ride. Shoot me now.
Now that was...
In last place, we have MOTHRA from Singular Point. Now don't let her small size fool you. She has many incredible abilities and feats, such as Number 12, Fairy Mothra! Being a reliable ally and free Uber for Maul and Laura, Fairy Mothra possesses laser attacks, high subsonic speeds, tracking abilities, and more. She was able to cause damages to rooms and furniture. She also scales to Garu Garu, who easily overpowered two grown men. Pathetic. She should safely scale to street to wall level. However, there was this one time she was able to make a shield and resisted King Ghidorah's gravity beam for a period of time. However, she needed a lot of assistance to do that, so I wouldn't count that towards her solo. So she safely stays in 12th place. Man, that's a fire design. Primitive Mothra came in clutch to embed Mothra Leo in webbing after an intense battle with the Cretaceous Ghidorah. And that's it. Yeah, these guys didn't really do all that much. I placed them higher over the other Mothras due to size alone, and there's a small chance that they could scale to the Mothras higher on this list, but that's undetermined. At number 10, we have GMK Masura, one of the three guardian monsters. Mothra is the guardian of the sea. Although despite the name, Shorty doesn't really have that many water powers. However, she does have supersonic speeds, high agility, and poisonous needles. With her incredible speed, she's able to outrun Godzilla's atomic breath and even intercept it. This atomic breath being made of radiation, which travels 75% the speed of light. That would mean that this Mothra has high relativistic reaction and combat speeds, and maybe even light speed based on how she was able to quickly intercept the beam. She was even able to duel with Godzilla and endure his devastating atomic breath. This atomic breath being scaled from 92 megatons, which is enough to destroy multiple cities, to 58 gigatons, which is enough to destroy an island. Depending on which metrics makes the most sense to you, this Mothra can battle city destroyers to island wipers. So, count your days, Jaegers. Mothra 1961, the OG who set the record for all the other Mothras, and she said it good. Original Mothra was able to cause chaos and destruction to Japan just cause some weirdo kidnapped their fairies. Lock that dude up, bruh. In the wake of her anger, she tanked maser cannons and other military fire. And 3 years after that, she took on Godzilla in her old age. Wait a second. Mothra, aren't you like 3 years old? What you talking about old age? Kids these days, man. Aside from her strange aging process, this actually makes OG Mothra more impressive, as she was able to tussle and kind of win her fight with Godzilla, dodging his atomic breath and brushing it off in some instances. Her poison pollen literally had Godzilla on the floor, and her hurricane-like wind blew Godzilla away. And now listen here, early Showa Godzilla is no pushover. Most of the time. He was able to cause an earthquake on the Japanese archipelago of at least a magnitude 5, which can be counted to 7 teratons. That's enough power to wipe out a small country. And that was from a weaker Godzilla, as Godzilla became more powerful in this film. So, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Mothra should be a little bit stronger, at least a little bit, making the OG Mothra a threat to be reckoned with. Number 10, the Mothra siblings in Tokyo SOS. There's a brother and a sister. The sister was able to tank Godzilla's atomic breath straight to the face, and then her brother was able to bite onto Godzilla's tail and make Godzilla screech, Tom and Jerry style. Both of them are pretty much equal in power, but if you pointed a poisonous scale to my head and had to tell me I had to pick one over the other, I guess I'll pick the brother because he seems a little bit more level-headed and calculated. But aside from that, they're pretty much on the same tier. And let's talk about the next Mothra to further explain why they're even above the OG Mothra. Number 9, Mama Mothra from Tokyo SOS. The Mother Mothra is a worthy successor to the original Mothra. Her hurricane winds, lightning-fast speeds, poisonous pollen, and her determined spirit helped her to battle a Godzilla that surpasses the early Showa. This Godzilla is taking the Absolute Zero cannon straight to the chest. This cannon wields over 500 petatons of TNT, enough energy to erase all the continents. Although Godzilla was weakened since then, this Mothra should still be in the same ballpark, as she's a reliable ally to Kiryu, who's powered up since the last film, making this Mothra a multi-continental threat. Next up, we have Monsterverse Mothra, the queen of the monsters, and Godzilla's right-hand woman in combat. She flashes blinding god rays, stabs her foe with a deadly stinger, and fires out a powerful whipping that entangles the legendary King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah being strong enough to lift a nearly 100k ton Godzilla like nothing, meaning her webs might even be stronger. She also defeated the King of the Skies, Rodan, who devastated Isla de Mar, and erupts volcanoes for fun. She's also in the multi-continental range, but it's a little bit questionable exactly of what end she stands in. Godzilla in his battle against Ghidorah in the past, but to what extent, we don't know. For all we know, she could have just webbed him and let Godzilla do all the work, but based on her attempting to dive bomb Ghidorah in the film, there's a good chance she could do some damage. This would grant her AP to around 40 petatons all the way to 3 exatons and above. For my other Monsterverse videos for more context on the Monsterverse's AP, because I'm not going over this guy again. Mothra from Final Wars, another multi-continental Mothra. Yay. Or is she? Final Wars Mothra defeated the dangerous Gigan, who destroyed Atlantis, being calced to 4 exatons. However, he's also been stated to be able to destroy the world along with Godzilla. Now, destroy the world doesn't automatically mean the whole world, but it also doesn't mean that. Yeah, forgive me. This Mothra can be scaled to the higher exatons such as 4 exatons to 14 exatons, and even planetary, being a reliable ally to Godzilla and a fierce opponent to Gigan. MILFs, you say? How about another mom, the mother of Mothra, Leo? Being part of an army of Mothra, she's the only one who survived the massacre of Des Ghidorah. Des Ghidorah, being a wannabe Ghidorah, drained entire planets for energy. For example, Mars. He turned it into a wasteland and even made the planet shrink. When he was reawoken, Mommy Mothra gave him a good fight, blasting him with lightning, poison, and antenna beams. Scaling off Des, she should at least be small planet. But with Des Ghidorah consuming many planets, their argument for planetary is not a reach at all. This know-it-all Mothra scales to her counterpart Batra, who in the Earth novels was able to replicate the same feat as Godzilla Earth, as in stopping Gorak, which can be Dwarf Star level. So yeah, despite her 5 seconds of screen time, she's in the top 5 most powerful Mothras. Hooray. Huh? What? How are we back in the Showa era again? Well, ladies and gents, the OG Mothra gave birth to twins, one of them surviving long enough to surpass their mother. This Mothra battled King Ghidorah, the 3-headed menace who bodied Venus into a volcanic wasteland and eats comets for snacks. Oh, did I forget to mention stars too? Oh yeah, he absorbs stars too. And what's that random voice in my head? He's stronger than Mechagodzilla, who can withstand black holes. Now that just sounds ridiculous. Just like how powerful this Mothra is, she even pushed Godzilla to the side, who has comparable feats to her. This is making the first Mothra to be in the solar tiers. Imagine a little cell, right? Now throw that little cell into a massive black hole to be consumed into a white hole and then turn into a world-ending monster. I'm talking about Heisei Godzilla and his Mothra, who can at least damage one of his cells, since he made Godzilla roar on a few instances. Not to mention all the crazy abilities she has. She kind of started the trend for Mothras to have crazy abilities such as lasers, arc lightning, reflective mirror scales, poison, healing, and power draining. Her AP isn't the only thing carrying her, but also her heavy arsenal would make her a top tier even in equal stat settings. Technically, she can be number 1 depending how you scale the Mothras, but I had to put some respect on the next Mothra. Mothra Leo is him! Even as a larvae, he was boxing Des Ghidorah, a planet-draining monster. Then growing up to literally put Des Ghidorah into the ground. Then he runs hands with Dagara. And finally, King Ghidorah himself, not just any Ghidorah, Grand King Ghidorah, the king of the king. being stated to be a threat into the entire universe, and Grand King Ghidorah put Des Ghidorah on a shirt. Remember how I brought up how Heisei Mothra had a bunch of abilities? Well, how about lasers from the head, antennas, abdomen, arc lightning, sealing, body splitting, armory, natural weaponry, time travel? And that's not all, but Mothra Leo also has a bunch of transformations like Rainbow Mothra, Aqua Mothra, Rainbow Mothra 2, Armored Mothra, Eternal Mothra. Who you think you is, Goku? Like, it's very clear who the top dog of Mothra is. And Toho even said as much, that Mothra Leo is the top dog of Mothras, based on all the abilities and transformation Mothra Leo has, and then taking on King Ghidorah all by himself, which, mind you, none of the other Mothras really had done well without losing. At least this is the first time Mothra done it with winning. And this is very clear from a narrative perspective, and even from a power scaling perspective, that Mothra Leo is the Mothra of Mothras.